Hello to everyone and welcome to Dark Leyends. This week we bring you an epic story of struggle and revenge, of bravery and overcoming. A legend of heroes fighting against the darkness to regain their freedom. We won't tell you more to keep the surprise, but we invite you to listen to this story to find out how it ends. Don't miss it.
It was a dark and stormy night in the town of Santuella. People were frightened because they had heard rumors of a macabre cult operating nearby. The cult members had gathered in an old church located in the woods, and at night their prayers could be heard in every corner. It was a dark and stormy night in the town of Santuella. People were frightened because they had heard rumors of a macabre cult operating nearby. The cult members had gathered in an old church located in the woods, and at night their prayers could be heard in every corner. The cult members were very strange, and their behavior was even stranger. They had a language of their own, which seemed to be full of obscure and strange words, and they dressed in black robes. They were said to be followers of an ancient religion that worshipped a god whose name could not be spoken. The rumors were increasingly disturbing and worrisome. It was said that the members of the sect performed terrible sacrifices to their god, and that there was no escape from their influence. People were terrified and feared for their lives and the safety of their families. Days passed and the threat was still present. The people could do nothing except hope and pray that the cult would go away. But then, one night, an old woman came to town and told them a horror story. She had escaped from the cult and told them they had to do something to stop it. The villagers armed themselves and headed into the forest to confront the cult. The confrontation was tough, but in the end they managed to win. Or so they thought for a few months. Although the people were relieved that the cult was gone, they didn't know that the worst was yet to come. Some people began to disappear into the darkness of the night, and it was soon discovered that the cult had returned. This time their target was not only the town, but the whole world. The inhabitants realized that the only way to save themselves was to confront the cult and stop its advance. They gathered all the heroes they could find and armed themselves to fight the cult. The battle was hard fought, and many of the heroes fell in combat. However, in the end, the heroes managed to defeat the cult and save the world. The cult members were imprisoned, and the people of Santuella were finally freed. The heroes assumed that they had defeated the cult for good, but soon discovered that this was not the case. The cult had been using dark magic that allowed them to survive the battle and continue to operate in secret. This time, the cult had become even more powerful and was planning much more terrifying action. The heroes prepared to face the cult once again, but this time they could not risk losing. They decided to turn to dark magic to bolster their own powers to give them an advantage over the cult. This decision changed their lives forever and made them powerful beings, but at the same time made them vulnerable to enchantment. The heroes fought with all their might, but the cult was too powerful. They realized that they needed help, and that the only one who could save them was the god the cult worshipped. The heroes decided to invoke the god and begged him to help them. The god heard their pleas and granted them one last chance to save the world. He gave them a mystical weapon with which they could defeat the cult, and in the end, the heroes were victorious. The macabre organization was defeated and the world was saved. The heroes returned home and told the story to everyone they knew. Since then, the story has been told from generation to generation as a legend that reminds all villagers of the value of unity in times of weariness.
At the end of this exciting story, the people succeeded in defeating the dark cult and regaining their freedom. This legend reminds us that although the road may be difficult, there is always hope. We want to encourage all of our followers to keep fighting for their dreams and freedoms. And we invite you to subscribe to our channel to keep seeing more content like this. Follow us now so you don't miss a story.